A lot of news has disappeared as legacy media has folded. That means there's going to be a greater need from people to get news they can use. I'm Brant Houston. I'm currently in chair of investigative reporting at the University of Illinois. I spent a lot of time in newsrooms the first 2 decades of my career, and then I got involved with investigative reporters and editors and started to learn how to run a nonprofit and survive. I think the serious decline and fall began when the web showed up, and newsrooms did not embrace it, and editors didn't understand the power of data and data analysis. So it's gone through a lot of changes, but I'm very optimistic because a whole lot of people left legacy newsrooms and started their own newsrooms, and were willing to put in the time to run what is the equivalent of a small business to survive and do the kinds of things they want to do. There's some mantras. One is, it's one thing to think that you are going to deliver news that really matters, but you really ought to check out whether anybody wants what you're going to do. And you eventually want them to pay you directly. So that's one tip. Another tip is you want to have 7 streams of revenue. You want to make sure you've got lots of different kinds of revenue, funding, foundation grants, some advertising, events, training money, because if you're running a small business or any business, one revenue stream is going to dry up, maybe 2, maybe 3. You've got to have a whole bunch of other ones. It's an incredible time of change, and if technology comes along, you have to do what those of my generation did, which when data journalism came along, you need to embrace it and use it and not be worried about it. A lot of people, younger than me don't know that data journalism was going to replace us. Okay, you just would have data and it would write itself, which has come true somewhat. We're going to have to do the same thing with AI. There's just an amazing amount of opportunities, but you've got to change. You've got to be ready to turn quickly, take a new direction without losing sight of why you started, whether you're been hired to be a part of a new newsroom or you've created it. You've got to be willing to change. And you've got to be excited about it. Collaborate some more. Collaborate some more. Keep collaborating. We have limited resources. So what you want to do is find other newsrooms, other journalists to work on projects so you extend your resources, you extend your knowledge. In many cases, by collaborating, you extend your security. There's a mantra at Investigative Reporters and Editors, which was when it was 1 year old, one of the founding members was killed by a car bomb in Arizona in the United States. It was unfortunate, but it happened during IRE's first conference. So everybody was together, and they said, we need to work together, because if they kill one of us, they need to get 40 of us. And if they kill 40, they need 400. That was one of the most inspirational collaborations. It ended up in a 23-part series. They went to Arizona, and they went to not only see who had killed him, but to finish the work that he was doing. So that was one of the earliest times that said you can kill the reporter, but not the story. So collaboration serves many purposes, and that's probably the most important mantra. There are a lot of people who have been navigating, and I teach a lot of young students who are ending up in some of the newer newsrooms, nonprofit or for-profit. They're small, they're nimble. I tell them it's an incredibly exciting time, because if they went to legacy media, they would have to do some kind of boring grunt or work 20 hours a day or whatever. I mean, that was not a paradise. It was like being in the military. You're working your way up, and they run like that. I think it's really exciting. I think they can be their own entrepreneur. Some people are making enough money off platforms like Substack and Beehive to make a living. A lot of news has disappeared as legacy media has folded, that means there's going to be a greater need from people to get news they can use. So, yeah, I'm an optimist. I heard a quote from the former Secretary of State of the U.S., Madeleine Albright. I'm now going to use it, which is, I'm an optimist, but I worry a lot.